Watanabe, you bitches!
Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Matt, aka Legion X, and welcome to a podcast where the intro doesn't play properly the first time you try to record. I'm your host. I have my co-host Shane, aka the Bearded One. How are you doing today, Shane?
Did you like my Watanabe? I took Watanabe and Cowabunga and I put the two together.
Yes, I did. I liked it a lot.
It was great. It's thematically relevant for what we're talking about today. But I'm good.
It's extremely relevant. It's called, in fact, in the business, we call that foreshadowing.
Something we've never done on this podcast before.
Ever. This is the first. And with me, I have my co-host, Spencer. How are you doing today, Spencer?
I'll show you foreshadowing.
Oh shit! What's he got this time?
It's a gun.
Watch out! He has an armed rifle.
It's named Chekhov.
Watch out. It's Chekhov's gun, guys.
It will become relevant later on.
In the third act. Yeah, no, it's a Bepis.
Oh, it's Bepis. Bepis is the superior drink.
Chekhov's Bepis.
Chekhov's Bepis.
Did you know that Chekhov's favorite drink was Pepsi?
Did you know that? Yeah, fucking.
I don't even. He didn't even know. He didn't even know what it was.
Anton Chekhov.
Plot twist: Chekhov invented Pepsi.
What? Anton Chekhov?
Was it Anton Chekhov? That's his name?
Yes.
That's the actor who the fucking. I think you're thinking of Anton Yelchin. You're thinking of the actor who plays Chekhov in Star Trek, Spencer.
Oh, he choked on that Bepis.
Oh my! Technically, I wasn't wrong. Technically, I wasn't wrong.
He choked hard on that Bepis.
I'm doing a fucking fantastic now.
Above average.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful show planned for y'all today. We have simulcast discussion, simulpub discussion. We have a lot of news because Japan decided that this past 2 weeks was going to be just news galore and trailers galore for a lot of stuff. So we're going to be talking. So we'll try to get through that as quickly as we can. And we also got a feature anime of the podcast, which is Kids on the Slope, which is our second Watanabe series we've covered.
Weird how we haven't covered one since the very beginning of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about him so much. Yeah. You would imagine we would cover another one of his stuff at some point. But anyways, we're back with him. So let's move on to our featured anime of the podcast. So next podcast is going to be the final podcast for the season because we're almost done. So most shows have, from what I can tell, like 3 to 2 episodes left.
Most of them, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're not going to go into our seasonal awards just yet. We'll do that next week. But in any case, Shane, is there any shows in particular that you want to talk about this week?
This is the 1 week where I literally have nothing to contribute because, as is customary, I'm behind on everything now, even Wonder Egg. So
well, didn't you have a lot of work to do?
Yeah, I was
past
very
2
busy.
weeks.
Yeah,
you were grading and all that.
So I just haven't caught up on anything, which sucks because Wonder Egg, but also I heard ReZero was really good too.
I will say Wonder Egg's recent episode was a massive bombshell. It changed the game in terms of what the plot is, and I'm very curious to see where it goes. But my hopes are high.
This was like a. What would you say, Matt? This is like a Revue Starlight kind of twist.
This is more similar to when you find out about the soul gems and what their true purpose is in Madoka.
Okay, yes.
This recontextualizes some of the plot development, specifically for one character in particular.
So the Wonder Eggs are actually soul gems, and they're all actually witches.
No, it's about Neru mostly, actually, and you'll get to find out more about her.
Good, finally.
And you also get to learn a bit more about Akka and Uraka's true purpose.
Yeah, they're fucking mannequins. What?
What are they? Oh, what?
What?
Crazy.
But Spencer, is there any show you want to talk about in particular?
See. Let me just pick
Time
3.
for Spencer's seasonal lightning round.
Okay.
Seasonal lightning round where he rants about redo of healer.
No.
Please don't. Please don't.
Listen, redo of healer is gross, okay, and somehow they continue to find ways to be depraved. But now it's just funny to me.
It's just regular depraved now.
No, it's just funny to me. Like it's an edgy classmate. That's what it is. It's the person in university who always tries to one up the professor, and you're like, can you just like shut the fuck up?
He's that guy in the poli-sci class who joined the poli-sci class to own libs.
Yes, and it's like, listen, you realize you are in a fucking liberal university. We have one conservative professor at our university. One.
And he would walk circles around you.
Anyway. You don't want to mess with this man, but redo of healer is just a garbage fire. X-Arm is a garbage fire, but I'm still just in complete awe every time I watch an episode because I'm like, there's no way
I'm actually behind on X-Arm. I'm actually
how many episodes are you behind?
I think like 3.
Oh, it gets fucking stupid, dude.
It's already stupid.
I literally all I had to watch was that first episode, and I'm like, all right.
Worst of the year.
Easy.
Oh, I mean, redo of healer is the worst, but you didn't watch that.
Because I'm a sane, reasonable person.
Cells at Work Black is great, and it has 1 episode left. And
I'm also behind on that.
If you haven't seen
1 episode left, what?
Yeah,
1 episode left. Yep.
Yeah, it's almost done. I did finish the OG one though, and the OG one's second season ends really strong.
Yeah, no, it has a real strong ending, but it's just
and stuff.
It's just like, wow.
Black is so much more interesting.
Black is so much more interesting. 2.43 is a real good sports drama, and like it's getting to a point where it's really intense, and it's very, very kind of emotionally driven. Higurashi episode 23.
The penultimate episode. There's only one left.
I haven't actually seen it yet. I don't know what's going on with it.
I'm gonna say a unique episode. Interesting development. And I don't know why they put this second last. Because it seems like something that should have been earlier. But I digress. ReZero is fucking outstanding. That newest episode was the best episode.
I need to catch up. I've heard that there is a fight.
There is a fight.
Pretty big.
It's pretty big. It might be fight of the year already. Bungo Stray Dogs Juan is genuinely hilarious. And did
you know they started dubbing that?
Oh, did they? Awesome.
Yeah. The one thing I wasn't expecting Crunchyroll to be on top of was the Bungo Stray Dogs Juan dub of all things.
Well, it's probably easy to dub because there's not much anime. It's a chibi show.
Yeah, there's not a lot of animation.
You already got everyone's already casted because you've already dubbed it. So like it's probably just like an easy one to deal with.
Who took over for Vic Mignogna?
Lance McDonald.
Lance McDonald is Rompo now? Awesome.
Yeah, because he did it in season 3 too. He already took over.
Also, fun fact, Lance McDonald also took over for him as Rohan in the OVAs. Because those just came out on Netflix not too long ago. I learned that like last week.
Yeah.
So good on Ben.
Anyways, Pui Pui Volcar.
Fuck even.
It's about guinea pigs that are cars.
Yes, I'm aware.
And people drive them. However, the guinea pigs are also sentient guinea pigs, but they're the size of cars.
So it's like the Pixar movie Cars, if they were giant guinea pigs on wheels.
And also, people actually drove them.
Yeah, because there's no humans in the Cars universe.
There's no humans in the Cars universe.
The guinea pig cars can and do move on their own. However, they can also be driven by people. And I don't know if the people are actually like a small child at a car wheel just pretending to drive, or they're actually driving.
They must be obedient to their human overlords.
But just like a tauntaun, you get inside that shit, it's a legitimate guinea pig. It has all the functions of a guinea pig, but it's also a car. And in the newest episode, thanks to Slippery Roads, a breakdancing police guinea pig car, a beatbox, a zombie, and 3 other different types of cars, a marriage proposal happened.
Why didn't anyone pick this up? Why?
2 minutes. These
This
episodes
sounds like
are
something Jane would watch.
these episodes are like 2 minutes long.
Like a Crunchyroll, come on, get on that shit.
Like if you do not like, this is the one thing where I'm like, listen, if they do not license this, I will pirate it regardless. Because
And guess what? It wasn't licensed.
pick that shit up. It's fucking stupid. We already talked about Wonder Egg. Wonder Egg is really good as always. Tataba, Last Dungeon. Really funny.
I watched. I have not caught up on this one at all throughout most
Oh,
of the season. So
Did you start it or?
I watched one episode. I
What did
really
you think?
liked it.
Yeah, it gets really good. It's very funny. It's a lot more of like your kind of comedy, fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And the characters are actually all really likable and very goofy, and I appreciate it. And it's just a breath of fresh air.
That show's also getting dubbed now.
Nice. Yami Shibai I'm watching, which is great as always. If you like spooky things, X-Arm is garbage, but I love it. Kimono Jihen isn't getting enough play, and it's really
I
good.
haven't heard anything about it.
Kimono
It's-
Jihen's really good. I've quietly been keeping up on it.
Yeah.
very good.
What did you
It's
think of the
very, very
last 2 episodes with Shiki?
Yeah, it's been very good. So
Very
I
good.
recommend.
Mm-hmm. Skate the Infinity. Is
Skate the Infinity.
Recap
Skate the Infinity.
episode.
It had a recap episode, but the episode before that was really good.
was really good, yes.
Yes. Especially the after credit scene with Joe and what's his actual name? I just know him as Cherry.
Just call him Cherry.
Cherry, yeah, Cherry and Joe at the restaurant. It's very good.
Well, his official name, according to Mal, is Cherry Blossom.
Cherry, thank you, Cherry Blossom. That's your legally defined name.
AKA Cherry.
Cherry. Horimiya is
Horimiya kills me inside.
Horimiya is
a heart.
really good too, because it's really good. I love this show. I love Horimiya so much.
They're experimenting, quote unquote.
It's
They're trying to be kinky.
Kink.
Ooh.
which is like, I don't kink shame, but can you keep your kinks to not in public? You
Yeah, can you
sick
please?
woman.
I do appreciate how frank it is about it, though.
Oh, it's 100% out in the open. It's like, listen, these two, they met, they dated, they started
boned.
dating, they fucked, and now they're experimenting a little bit. And then
I love it. She's like, turns out I like being yelled at.
And the funniest thing to me was when he tries to get an answer, he goes up to the father, and the father's like, get in the tub. And he's like, why do I need to be in the bath? And he's just like, because this is the way that true men can talk to each other.
Get in the tub, son.
Yeah.
True men.
Her father's hilarious.
Yeah.
I
Her
love
dad
her.
Her dad gives me Akio from Clanad vibes.
Yeah, 100%.
Straight up. Oh man,
Just
it's my
doofus
favorite
dad.
part.
Jujutsu Kaisen had, in my opinion, the funniest episode of
I
the
want
entire
to
season.
talk about Kaisen because I did not expect them to do a baseball episode.
Oh yes.
Yes, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the baseball like part of the manga wasn't that long, was it?
It's only
a
a
chapter.
chapter.
Yeah,
Which means they must have adapted I think it's one chapter they adapted for the entire
Which-
episode. I'm going to imagine.
if you're going to
Which
do
is so weird.
one chapter, make it that chapter. Matt, what did you think of that episode?
I thought it was the funniest episode I've seen of anything so far this year. And it reminded me a lot. It's gonna sound weird. It reminded me a lot of the more goofier portions of something like Soul Eater.
Yeah, I could see
Or
it.
like or back to the Bleach comparison. It reminded me of some of the filler episodes of Bleach in a good way, and some of the better standalone filler episodes of Bleach.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bleach had a couple filler episodes like this that were really good and really funny.
Like,
Like there was an episode. Like there's an episode where Hichigaya teaches the kids on Earth how to play soccer, and it's great.
That's amazing.
Except that Hichigaya doesn't know how to play soccer, so he's just bullshit.
So he's just bumbling with them.
And it's great. It's great. It's a great
really
standalone
good.
episode. It's a great standalone. But you reminded me a lot of that. And the image of a panda with a baseball bat was never not going to be funny to me. I'm sorry.
I mean, he
So
just wants to punch a zebra, dude.
I was about to get to that. Whoever was in charge of writing those fucking stats,
Because they're not in the manga.
They're not
I
in
went
the
back
manga.
to the chapter to make sure, and they are not there.
I was crying.
I had to pause and read all those. They were the funniest thing to me. I think my top two were definitely Panda, which is just always dreamed of punching a zebra, or really wants to punch a zebra, and Kugasaki, which is like, she just applied for a credit card. As a high school student, that's pretty hard.
That's pretty risky.
That's pretty risky.
She just applied for credit
Or fucking Miwa, that's like left a mango in the fridge
And now it's gone.
and now it's gone. And then fucking Maze is just like, has now acquired a taste for mangoes. And I'm just like, oh my god.
She stole her mango.
And of course, we can't talk about this episode without the funniest scene to me, which is just fucking Toto getting nailed and just everybody going, nice pitch.
Nice pitch. Everyone hates Toto.
This entire episode, it was especially since like it was a nice change of space, especially since the past arc of Kaisen hasn't been. I know it gets darker, but it was a pretty heavy arc, and it was nice to see. Just like I like shonen that does this. Like they'll have a heavy arc, and then it's like, okay, now for some bullshit.
Now for some silly bullshit.
I know Kaisen's a lot like they do that a lot. So like they'll. Which is a great tone balance.
I mean, at the end of the next arc that they're going to be adapting in the last 3 episodes, Yuji meets an old grade school friend who has a crush on him. So,
oh my god, I forgot about that part.
Yeah,
I
don't know if
her.
they're going to be adapting that because they have 3 episodes left, and they just casted the people who are going to play the villains for the next arc, and I thought they might be saving that stuff for like the start of the next season if they do that.
Maybe, but
because they only got 3 episodes. It would be weird to end there. But then again, My Heroes ended on
so like whatever.
Spot.
I know for sure with 3 episodes left, they are adapting in full the Cursed Womb painting stuff. So
yes,
the Cursed Womb painting stuff, which is a small enough. Which I checked, it's a small enough arc.
It's 10 chapters, so they can do it.
It's super short.
It's a small enough arc, which means that saves next season for Shibuya.
Literally, the next shit is Gojo backstory and Shibuya.
Yeah, and Shibuya is a double core affair in itself.
Oh, so, for fun. Anyways, I got 2 more shows, and then that's my yearly or my seasonal roundup. Project Scarred is
boring.
Is boring, but it's still competent. Like it's
the
one
worst
of those
kind of show.
It's one of those shows where it's like, okay, Gohans, I can see what you were going for. And you finally started to get a handle on your weird fucking art style. And it has the ability to be good. But
where have I heard that before?
Boring. Every Gohans show, okay, they're a studio that I want to like because I think that their art style is cool. And like, sometimes it hurts my eyes, but it hurts my eyes with love. But 99% of their shows that aren't K or even Capellion, in my opinion, are not great.
No, they're not.
This is like middling upper tier, but it's still like a 6 out of 10.
It's so weird because they completely destroyed their reputation with Handshakers, and then since then they've been like really slowly trying to build themselves back up. Because every show since then has been.
I don't think coming back with Wiz was the best possible decision, though.
No, I don't think making a direct sequel to your most hated and reviled show was a good decision.
Hey, I'm not arguing against that. I'm just saying Wiz was at least better, quote unquote.
Yes.
Better.
And the last show.
And that, sorry, just to interrupt real quick. And then Scarred is just fucking painfully average, which sure, it's competent, but it doesn't save it from being painfully average.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool when I can see what's happening.
Yeah, when it's not incomprehensible.
I think that the whole, Helios and Artemis kind of moon and sun thing is a bit, heavy-handed, but it's cool. And that's all I can say about Project Scarred is like, it's cool, I guess. And the last show. And the last show is Back Arrow.
Back Arrow. I've kept up on Back Arrow, and I will say this: I think a Back Arrow. I need to wait till the core is done. I don't know how to feel about it yet.
Me neither.
I like it though. I like it. I know that, but I don't know how much I like it.
I think.
Sorry to interrupt again.
No, go ahead.
I like it enough, but I'm with Matt where I'm sort of in like a gray area right now where I'm like, do I like it enough to keep going? Not sure yet.
I think for me, it's very similar to when I first watched Gunsword, and I was like, this is good. I don't know how much I'll watch of it, but it's good. I like it.
Yeah, it feels very mid 2000s anime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In both the best and worst possible ways. So make that what you will of it.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely feels like that Taniguchi decided I'm going to make a show that I've wanted to make since like 2005 and changed nothing of it.
And I mean, hey, props to Taniguchi. Like, the mech design is really good, okay?
That I can agree on.
Yeah, the mech design's very good. The action scenes are really good.
Really good.
The way it uses CG is really well done.
Yeah, even the character designs are actually really unique and interesting. It's just its story that I'm kind of like, Taniguchi, what the fuck are you trying to do?
Just like, I don't know if I care.
I don't know what it's doing. I know it's written by the guy who did Promare, and that's literally the big reason as to why I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt, because I'm like, it's written by the Trigger guy, one of the Trigger guys, and they know what they're doing for the most part.
Hey, I mean, fucking Promare, so.
Yeah, Promare, BNA, Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill. It's this guy. I mean, so
this feels very Gurren Lagann-esque in its story. Like,
the story feels, at least to me, it feels a bit disjointed.
Yes,
it doesn't feel like it has any direction. That being said, that could possibly be the point, and possibly I need to wait for another season.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a show I'm going to keep following. I think I need to see it as a whole first. I need to really make a judgment. I can't make a judgment on it until the show's done. Which the show is going to be 24 episodes. We still got like a core left.
Yeah, there's still a whole core left.
Still a whole core left. And I mean, the newest episode was interesting.
Also, that princess was annoying. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, she's very annoying, and I don't like her. But also, she's not Nina, and that's all I can say.
Fair enough. Have a nice day.
And I guess, Matt, we can talk about Promised Neverland, because I am not
talking about Promised Neverland. I have not seen it yet.
Okay, I don't know what to think anymore, dude.
This show is. I'm just not going to bother at this point.
I've heard it's bad, so that's why I haven't watched it.
I'm just not going to bother. I'm just going to read the manga.
The newest episode, I can say, something maybe happens, and there might be betrayal, I think.
I thought you were going to say there might be rats. Like
there might also
rats.
There might also be rats. They're bringing back characters now, and characters that we have no reason to care about.
Plot twist, Crow never died.
Plot twist, I was right. Phil was not to be trusted the entire time.
Phil was the demon the entire time.
Also, in what is my favorite thing, my favorite trope of all time in anime and media as a general, where you have characters that do complete 180s on their like morals for no discernible reason other than, well, he's a boss, I guess.
For the sake of
I heard there's talk no jutsu in this fucking episode. I heard there's talk no jutsu in this episode.
One of the Lambda girls is about to kill a demon, and then she like doesn't, and she's like
the BVS thing,
and she's like, no. This is after that. She's like, okay. She's like ready to kill it. She's like, I will destroy all demons. I have to kill all the demons. I'm gonna kill the demons. Okay. Then
Aaron
she swings.
Yeager, is that you?
Then she swings this club down. And it misses. And she's like, I still want to kill the demons. That's my goal. But Norman, you're the boss. And I'm like, what the fuck then? If that's your fucking goal, you kill the demon.
What happened between her saying that and swinging the bat?
Like, the answer
apparently a change of heart. Talk no jutsu, bruh.
No, straight up last second, dude. She like goes to swing and it does like a cutaway to like a sound, and then it cuts back to the demon and the weapons, like, you know, when they like cut near it and it's like supposed to show that the character had a change of heart. She straight up, within her swinging that and telling Norman that what I told you was about a second and a half. She's crying. She goes, I have to do this. Swings, misses, turns, goes, I'm still going to kill all the demons, but I trust you, Norman.
Perfect amount of the precise window of time you need to have a moral epiphany.
Listen, if I ever have a moral change of heart that quickly, it was never a moral conundrum to begin with. I'm just an asshole.
So yeah, read the manga.
Read the manga.
Read the manga. The only show I want to talk about is ReZero. Because ReZero's episode was incredible. And Shade, have you watched it yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah,
like I said, I am behind.
You absolutely should watch it because it is the best episode of the show so far.
The entire show?
I would argue, yeah. It is the best animated episode of this season. It is the best episode animation wise of this core, definitely.
Would you say episode of the year contender?
Yes. It's absolutely episode of the year contender. It's so good. Like, it's absolutely fantastic. And it's and like it has one of Subaru's best moments. It has one of Ram's best moments.
Mm-hmm.
What if we give best episode at the year-end awards to ReZero 2 years in a row?
I would not complain. The ReZero's ReZero's highs are like higher than most shows. So that's like usually like a sign of like its quality to me. Also, Amelia gets a great moment in this episode too. Who's Amelia killing it this core?
I mean, this whole core has basically been about Amelia.
Yeah, she's absolutely killing it. I think so. Let's move on to simulpubs if we have anything to talk about there.
I'm behind on my manga too. I didn't read many of the new chapters.
Oh, you didn't read One Piece then?
I read One Piece. I read Kaisen, I read Mashle, and I read My Hero. That's it.
I love it. Like, I didn't read any manga, but I did read this.
I read, out of the 15 I'm reading, I read 4.
That's fine. Let's talk about One Piece though.
So Hyogoro.
Yeah.
Gonna die.
Hyogoro. I don't want him to die.
No, because he's great. I love him.
I'd be very sad. I'd cry.
Hyogoro.
Is that an old man?
He is an old man who becomes a big fat old man.
Ah, yes. I am.
He is the Yakuza captain of the Flower Capital in Wano.
Yeah, he was in the Luffy met him in the prison.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, he's like, you have what do they call hockey in Wano again? Fuck,
Rio.
what's the name of it? Rio? Yeah. It's like, yeah, you have Rio, and it's like, so he basically is like, he's basically like another hockey teacher for Luffy.
He's another Rayleigh.
Huh? Rayleigh, by the way.
Fuck you, Matt.
I'm pretty sure it's Rayleigh. I think it's Rayleigh.
Rayleigh, potato.
Yeah, fucking
shit.
But in any case, yeah, he's just I don't want him to die though. I like him and he's badass.
So let me paint the picture for Spencer. Everyone's turning into ice demons.
Why?
Because.
Okay.
Somebody used something.
Somebody had a gun with bullets.
that turns people into ice.
Turn people into ice demons.
Okay, that's not what I was expecting. That's not a gun.
What were you expecting?
I was expecting somebody's bullshit fucking gum fruit. Or not gum fruit.
Devil fruit?
No, gum is what I said, but they're not all gum fruit, Spencer. It's not Madoka Magica.
And guess who's in charge of making an antidote?
Oh, nothing.
Big News Morgan.
Chopper.
Yes.
Chopper.
I knew it.
Spencer was right. It's Big Bird.
It's Big Bird? Oh, shit.
It's Big News Morgan.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and while he's making the endo, he's just getting screenshots. Just every few seconds, he goes like...
He's like, well, you see, we got to make sure that this antidote goes to all those people so I can get a big scoop. Mm-hmm. Big news.
Big news. When are we going to see Kaido again?
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
As the resident One Piece expert, I can tell you, you will see Kaido within the next fortnight.
Because there's... Okay. All right. Because I'll probably go on break again this week. Because we have to go back to Kaido Beastman form, Robin and Brooke fighting Black Maria, whoever that was with the samurai, who is not an L, Matt.
It's a Nell. I'm sorry. It's a Nell. It looks exactly like him. I don't know what you're smoking.
What if we're both wrong, and it's just someone completely different?
Then fuck us, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't.
I'm just gonna stop reading.
So it's like that Smash trailer where like Banjo-Kazooie turns into the fucking Duck Hunt dog. Mm-hmm. You're just like, how does that even make sense? Because you look nothing the same.
Because two animals that are a mammal and a bird, I guess.
Ah, of course.
A fucking it's like an Eddie kid, but yeah, One Piece is One Piece lit right now.
It always is, Matt.
Yeah, fucking My Hero's really good right now too.
My Hero's good. It has to explain some things next chapter because this chapter was
it absolutely vague. Will. It absolutely will.
Oh yeah, obviously it will. It's Horikoshi, but
it had one of those status quo chapters that Horikoshi loves to throw in there from time to time.
Yeah, it's one of those chapters where like it's a build up chapter because now we're getting because at the end of before this chapter we cut to All Might and Deku, who is in, well, I have to call him coma, in the hospital, and now so that's the entire chapter is just a build up to him like in his vision, one of his obligatory visions now. And obviously I think this is going to be like a 3 chapter long vision. This is something that's going to be like it's going to take a little bit. So it's obviously just build up. That last panel
yeah, I hope, because if the next chapter comes out and it's just hand waved away, I'm not going to be happy.
It's going to cut back to Todoroki family counseling.
I won't spoil it because I did read the scans, because I do read scans. I just don't talk about them because I know people don't want spoilers. I will say this is that they not only don't hand wave it away, but they make a suggestion that's a lot more radical than you think it is, than you're anticipating.
Okay.
Deku will become the president.
It's and it's this art. There's like this section actually seems to be is going to be less about the quirks he's getting and more about what is he actually going to do with Shigaraki?
What is he going to? How's he going to deal with the big bad?
The big bad.
Yeah, and I'm excited. And there's also some indications in this in the chapters that Tomura might have been quirkless himself actually as well at one point.
Interesting if true. Big if true.
Yeah, big if which would be which I don't buy from the.
I don't buy either, because if that's the case, they have to explain how, if he was quirkless, how he got
decay.
Yeah,
I mean the cop out answer is All For One, but like, how far back does that go?
Well, obviously it's got to be him. He's the only one able to give quirks. So like.
Yeah, but
what if it's some other bullshit entirely?
It's like, you've heard of All For One and One For All, but what about snail mail?
All for all?
Yeah, snail mail is a quirk where you give somebody a quirk, but it doesn't show up for the first like 6 to 10 years of their lives.
And then
Hold up, that actually sounds like.
And then here comes 1 for 1.
Here comes all for all.
Here comes for all 1.
Here comes all.
And then Centipede.
The only reason that people think it is because they confirm because like because like we know that before his quirk like actually like awakens, quote unquote, awakens. He did that he's like there was like a suited man that met with him beforehand,
and everyone always thinks wearing a suit. Oh, guess what? It's all for 1.
Which I don't buy though. I don't buy that because it's like that implies that every man with a suit is possibly all for 1, and it gives me Mephisto and WandaVision vibes, and I'm already tired of that fucking shit. So I don't want to so in any case, I don't. But yeah, My Hero's really good right now.
I also like how Horikoshi gave Deku a speech impediment.
Yes. It really makes me feel happy having one myself. Or technically,
well, I always assumed that his like mumbling was some kind of speech impediment. Personally,
I also love how I can't read. I relate to Deku.
Oh,
well, yeah, yo, have you ever seen Shane trying to read stuff in Yakuza?
Please stop, Matt. Don't do it. Everyone already knows.
It's okay.
Case.
Pretty sure I'm dyslexic anyway.
Anyway, Mashal.
Oh, Mashal, real good.
I don't read Mashal, so that's all you.
You really should, Matt.
You really should, Matt.
I really should, but I don't.
Sit down. Take a minute.
So yeah,
Mashal.
Carpaccio, huh?
What a fucker.
Yeah.
What a fucker.
I hope Mash kills him.
I hope Mash doesn't kill anybody.
I hope he breaks his neck by break dancing on his corpse.
Also, I'm still not 100% convinced that we saw Finn's personal magic.
No,
I'm not 100%
You really think
convinced.
he doesn't have spatial magic?
I mean, I think that might be a part of it, but remember he tried to use a spell and it looked like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something more to his magic than just spatial magic.
Do you think maybe it has a time lag, or?
I think it might have a time lag, or it activates when danger is present, or
that would make sense. It'd be kind of like Danger Sense.
Yeah, but Mash is here again, and he's not happy with somebody picking on his friend.
Yeah, and then he's gonna beat the shit out of him.
Also, Finn, spatial magic. Finn Roll, spatial magic. Coincidence, by the way. Finn Roll was the best Black Bull in my boy.
I mean, Finn Roll is the boy.
The boy.
Finn Roll indeed is the boy.
Remember when he got the highlights in his hair?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, Mash is about to beat people up,
which is always fun.
Always fun.
It's always fun to see the stupid ways in which Mash beats people up.
Hey, if you don't have magic, just punch something really hard.
Really hard.
It's the Asta way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you say? Did you read?
I'm not going to go into detail about Kaisen for Matt's sake.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Because there's big shit happening right now.
This is shaking the entire core of.
It's been shaking the entire core because of Shibuya.
Literally for the last year.
Yes, and it continues to because fucking Akutani just won't give up.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what if I just did this now? What if... You know what this reminds me of, by the way, the stuff with Gojo?
Mm.
It reminds me of... This is going to be funny. It reminds me of Araki. Because in part 5...
how he wrote out Fugo?
In part 5, he wrote out Fugo because his stand was so busted that Araki didn't have a way to actually write around it. So he just wrote him out of the story completely. So I feel like Akutani was just like, okay, so I've shown off Gojo's powers a couple times, and everybody knows that he's the most powerful.
Everyone knows no one can beat him.
Nobody can beat him. So what if I just wrote him out of the story?
Goodbye, Gojo.
Oopsie daisies.
Lol. bitch.
Little bitch.
Anyway, all I'm going to say about where Kaisen is right now is that Sukuna might be involved.
Mm-hmm.
He might be coming back again already.
Might be seeing him for the first time in a while.
Remember the meteor?
Yes.
That was crazy. Anyway.
That was crazy. So you haven't seen the newest chapter of Phantom Seer yet?
No, I've not.
Okay. We meet the we finally meet the puppet master.
Well, I mean, we already
meet the puppet master.
Oh, okay.
Also, you get to see the guy with the Tengus. I forget his name.
God, I'm terrible with names in these fucking things.
Oh, because they're all Japanese names. They're not exactly, common for us, so I have to try to remember all the Japanese names. But the Tengu guy, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Tengu man and the girl with the dog head.
Kondo. I remember that one.
Kondo. Well, Kondo uses her channel divinity and turns into her demon.
So she turns into a floating dog head.
No, she turns into a dog girl person. Listen, it looks a lot cooler in manga form, okay?
It sounds so dumb.
It does. But then Tengu unleashes his channel divinity, and it's radical, and
then he reveals his stand, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Wait, you do know that's a stand, right?
Oh, I'm sure it is.
It is. It's in part 6. It turns imaginary fairy book creatures into reality.
Cool. Guess.
Jolene has to fight against Humpty Dumpty and Pinocchio. Yeah. I'm not joking. It's amazing.
Imagine being like, yes, this epic fight against Humpty Dumpty.
I love how you can never truly spoil JoJo. Because what?
And I could be lying through my teeth, but it still sounds like it's real, and you would believe it.
I can believe it in regards to JoJo.
But yeah, Phantom Seer, real good chapter. Real good, as always. I like it.
You started reading Sakamoto Days yet?
Not yet, but I'm going to. And the last one that I'm reading is, aside from Black Clover, Black Clover, that newest chapter.
Black Clover's always good.
Matt, that newest chapter, bro.
I won't say anything because I don't know if Shane's read it.
They're making the noises. What chapter was it?
The most recent one.
The most recent one, yeah.
Then I definitely have not read it.
Was it
284?
284,
yeah, I think it was that one. But it was the most recent one. I don't pay attention to the numbers that often, but ooh!
Oh, bro, that final fucking spread, bro. Let's fucking go!
Oh, there's a spread, huh? Tabata is real good with his spreads.
Tabata is good.
So Shane, read Black Clover pretty much as soon as this podcast is done.
Yeah. Do yourself a favor. And
hell, I might as well do it right now.
Yeah, just read it on the podcast.
Shane, because read it on the podcast and he's going to make a noise.
I'm going to talk about Kowloon.
Shane reads Black Clover.
Well, Shane reads Black Clover.
Just wait for the noise. You'll know when it's coming.
The new baseball manga.
Yeah, the new one, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
It's
huh?
ITLC?
Oh, ITLC.
Is that what you're talking about, or did I miss that?
No, I'm not talking about ITLC yet. I'm talking about Kowloon, the baseball manga.
Oh, okay.
It's a sports manga. That's all I gotta say. It's good. It's if you like sports, or you're not a big sports guy, but you like anime sports, this is more of a grounded sport. Actually, Matt, you know what I would describe this as?
Yeah.
It's more akin to like sports, but like Moneyball.
Huh.
The main character is more of a statistical person than like a pure powerhouse sportsman. It's actually really good. And yeah, so ITLC. Shane isn't very happy with it because it's kind of got away from that.
I think it's still good, and I will continue to read it. However, I'm slightly disappointed that it ditched the creepy horror vibes of the first chapter.
Yeah, And I get it. I mean,
what did?
I tell
C.
C.
I tell C. Oh, I tell C. Yeah.
Because the first chapter is very unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
And I dug that. That's the reason why I was so adamant on it at the start, because that first chapter has like the perfect vibe, and I wanted more of that. And then as the chapters proceeded, it kind of went away from that and went in a completely different direction. I'm like, well, it's still good, but like, what if?
Yeah, it's very much, it's now more of your, it's still a unique premise, but it's a traditional kind of quirky but serious cop drama or detective procedural. But it's good. It's good. I highly recommend it. Now we just gotta wait for Shane to finish Black Clover.
There is more dialogue than I was expecting.
Yes, it's
a kind of a dialogue heavy chapter, at least until that final
at least until that final Yeetmeister General
Yeetmeister General Jägermeister.
Yeah, Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan Sundays. Is it Sunday?
It's Sunday in 2 days.
How weird is it to know that there's only one chapter left?
So I read that
very
chapter,
distressing,
Matt.
quite frankly.
Did you read that chapter?
Yeah. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's happening, but wow, that final panel's fucked.
It is fucked, and I don't know how he's gonna wrap it up in a chapter.
No idea, but fuck it. Isayama can do it. Did you hear that they put up
Can you nail the can you stick the landing?
Can he stick the landing? He's been doing this for what, 10 years?
He has said for a while that he's had that last chapter penned out for a long time, so
he knows how it's ending. He knows how it's ending.
Did you hear that they made that Levi statue in his hometown?
They did, yes.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty cool statue because that was Isayama's favorite.
How do you know when you make? How do you know when you make it in an anime? You get a real life set. I think he made a noise.
What is this? True mana bullshit? What is this?
Yeah.
He's getting there. He's almost there.
I want to end before he gets there. That ironically, 70 years ago on the day, Matt.
Why are they all shooting beams? They are just all shooting beams. Those devils are fucked.
7 years ago on the day today, Matt, you posted on my Facebook wall that Matthew Mercer, Leon S. Kennedy, will be in Attack on Titan. He will play Levi, humanity's most powerful soldier. And I commented, well, of course, I'd expect nothing less from Mr. Kennedy. 7 years ago.
7 years ago. He has been playing Levi for almost 7 years.
Very impressive. Very, very impressive.
Mid-ranking devils. They look more than mid-ranking.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can start the news while I'm doing this. I'll still listen.
All right. But in any case, let's start out with the news because we do have quite a bit, so I would like to get going with that. So let's talk about My Hero because My Hero did release a trailer for season 5. So let's talk about it. Toho Animation began streaming a third promotional video on Saturday for the 5th season of the My Hero Academia manga. The video reveals and previews Dish's opening theme song, Number 1. The video description also reveals that the Peggies will perform at the ending theme song, Agiato, or Footprints. Kenji Nagasaki is once again the chief director of the anime at Studio Bones, and Masahiro Mukai returns as director from season 4. Yusuke Kurata is once again overseeing and writing the series scripts. Yoshihiko Yumioki and previous assistant character designer Itomi Odashima are again the character designers, and Yuki Hayashi will return to compose the music. Did everyone watch What?
I'm still reading the chapter. I apologize.
Did everyone watch the trailer for the new season?
I did watch the trailer, yes.
I am watching it right now.
Okay, first of all, the Sakuga present in this fucking trailer.
It looks like a strong-ass production.
It's strong-ass production, even more so than usual. This looks fantastic. And like, they are going all out with this season.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like, it looks real good. And the other big thing I want to mention is the song. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
There it is. No. Why is it? Is Notch dead? Is he dead? He looks kind of dead.
We don't know, Shane.
Also, damn Rock.
Yes.
Damn Rock.
Yeah. Fucking. But yeah, that's we knew we got it to it because you made the noise.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. All right, I'm paying full attention again.
Alright, so am I. Yeah. I just finished the trailer.
Song in the trailer. Can we talk about the song? Because
whips.
It whips. It whips. My hero never misses.
I'm already feeling more confident about this one than I was for Polaris, and even then, I came around on Polaris.
Came around and likes Polaris now, like you should have, like a fucking from the beginning.
You know what? I'm gonna keep an open mind. I'm just gonna be like, you know what? That's a good OP. Because it most likely will be.
Yeah, because my hero has yet to miss. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it looks like a strong production, which I think is good. They're going all out for this arc, which I'm really happy about because this is an action-heavy arc as well.
Yeah.
Imagine every fight gets the top tier saga.
This is my favorite arc in the manga, to put that into perspective.
It's because you simp for 1B.
Because they don't get enough fucking screen time, okay? And all of their quirks are really interesting. And I just also really like the action in this arc.
Also, based on that trailer, if that's the level of production they're giving this arc, imagine my villain.
Oh!
I'm just going to put that out there, because remember, that's also happening this season.
Yeah, more than likely. And probably the little bit before the war stuff, too.
Yeah, the internship with Endeavor, too.
You know how that they definitely happen that too. And I think it's a stronger production because unlike most seasons where the recap episode is episode 1, the recap episode is actually labeled as episode 0, so it's a separate thing.
So either they're labeling it episode 0, but it's still going to be 25 anyway, and they're just being weird about it. Or
if it's labeled episode 0, that means it's.
Or they're doing 25. They're still doing the normal 25, and they're just adding a bonus one on top of that.
They're adding a bonus one. It's normal 25 still.
That must mean things were going real good this season.
Yeah, which is good. Which is good.
It's good.
My heroes always had a strong production though. So like, it's not.
That OP is gonna slap, dude.
Yeah, it's going to slap. Speaking of things that don't have a strong production, though, I want to talk about a trailer for something that dropped this past couple weeks, and I know
what you're going to talk about.
I want to play into this because this. So
you read this manga, didn't you?
Netflix's trailer for Way of the House Husband, right?
Oh no!
Y'all saw this, right?
I forgot about this. My brain tried to exile it.
Subtitle trailer for the anime series of Kosuke Ono's The Way of the House Husband manga on Tuesday. The trailer reveals 2 new cast members for the anime, as well as its April 8th worldwide debut on Netflix. Chiaki Kon, for director of Sailor Moon Crystal Season 3, Devils and Realists, and Junjo Romantica, is directing the anime at JC staff, and Susumu Yutakawa of Backstreet Girls Goku Dolls is supervising the series scripts. Way of the House Husband follows a retired Yakuza member known as Immortal Tatsu, who's living out his post-crime career as a house husband. He still manages to find his way into trouble from time to time, except it's in the grocery aisle instead of some back. Ono launched the manga in Sunochawa's Kuraki Bunch website in February of 2018. So I am a fan of this manga for clarity's sake because I really like it. It's really funny, well written, and has great artwork. Definitely check out the manga if you can. So I was really looking forward to this adaptation. Not anymore.
Y'all like PowerPoint?
y'all like no animation.
Y'all like a slideshow? That's what you're getting.
What happened?
What happened? Staff. That's what happened.
I'm gonna put an image into a podcast that I just took because I was rewatching the trailer. Look at the glorious art on this woman's face. Keep talking. I have to upload it, but
it's because I've read somewhere that apparently there was a mandate by a dumbass producer who's make it look like the manga. which to me,
someone took that a little too literally.
Yeah. Also, that woman's face has no proportion. It looks off.
Hold on, I'm bringing it up on screen. That woman is just a potato.
It does not look correct.
That is a grade school drawing of a face.
That is a potato woman.
Limited animation in a comedy can actually be funny if used correctly. I'm a fan of Inferno Cop, and that has no animation.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
but what is this?
This is as the kids say, not it.
It definitely is not.
And I'm very disappointed. So my suggestion to y'all is just read the manga. It's very good. It's very funny. Highly recommend it. Don't bother with this. And JC staff, stop taking the anime challenge.
Yes,
blame JC exactly for this.
Yeah. Speaking of which, anime coming out in April, let's talk more about To Your Eternity, because that's also happening. So let's read on about who's doing the opening for the show.
That's the new Brainspace, right?
Yes, the new Brainspace show.
Okay.
The official website for the television anime of Yoshitoki Oma's To Your Eternity manga revealed on Tuesday that Hikaru Utada is contributing her new song Pink Blood as the anime's opening theme. This is the first time the artist has contributed a theme song to a television anime. It's not the first time she's worked on anime. She worked on all 4 of the Rebuild of Evangelion films, which, by the way, a final Rebuild film and finally in theaters. So we now live in a world where Rebuild is done, which is insane to me. But in any case, Masahiko Murata is directing the anime at Brainspace. Shinzo Fujita is in charge of the series scripts, and Koji Yabuno is designing the characters. Kodansha Comics is publishing the manga in English and describes the story. A new manga from the creator of the acclaimed A Silent Voice, featuring intimate emotional drama and an epic story spanning space and time. A lonely boy wandering the Arctic regions of North America meets a wolf, and the two become fast friends, depending on each other to survive the harsh environment. But the boy has a history, and the wolf is more than meets the eye as well. To Your Eternity is a totally unique and moving manga about life, death, reincarnation, and the nature of love. I am so excited for this fucking series, because I'm pretty sure there's a PV out for it, and it looks
there's multiple actually.
And it looks amazing. It looks fucking phenomenal. And all you need to say is that it's from the creator of A Silent Voice.
That's literally all you need to say.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah. It's from the creator of A Silent Voice. And it's just such a great concept. It's literally about an immortal being going through time and space. So, like that's already, imagine the creator of A Silent Voice doing something like that. It's going to make me cry.
Y'all like being sad?
Oh, I love being sad, dude.
I love being sad.
It's my favorite thing.
You know what else I love? Being sad that an anime is in Netflix jail. Hi, Shaman King. Let's talk about it.
King. This one hurts.
So Netflix posted an English subtitle version of the new promotional video of the new television anime of Hiroyuki Takei's Shaman King manga on Wednesday. Unlike the Japanese video, which lists an April 1st television premiere for the anime in Japan, Netflix's video only lists a general 2021 release date. In Japan, the anime will premiere on April 1st. The anime will premiere on TV Tokyo and will adapt all 35 volumes of the manga's new complete edition.
Pain. Nothing but pain.
Shane, don't you love how Shane started reading Shaman King because he was excited for this, and now Netflix has to come and...
I literally started reading it. A, because I was excited for the new anime coming out, and B, because I found all of it for free, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's go.
Also,
they pull this shit.
Also, what's absolutely fascinating is that they released the full cast. They officially released the full cast for the anime, and out of the main cast, only one of them is recast. The rest of the main cast is returning. The only cast member that's been replaced is Yo, apparently. Yo is so like Anna's voice actress is returning. Tal Ren's is returning. Like Romy Park's coming back to play Tal Ren. Megumi Hashiibata, who I fucking love, is playing Anna. Like, it's just the entire cast is back. The entire Japanese cast is back, which is really great. I don't know if they're going to do the same with the dub.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with the dub?
Some of the actors
show now.
Some of them aren't in voice acting anymore. Hell, the guy who played Yo in the dub for Shaman King back in the day, went to TV. They went to live action TV and nabbed a major role on House of Cards. So he's too big of an actor.
I thought you were gonna say he went to jail.
No, he didn't. No, he went to TV.
Like, wait a sec.
He got more popular. He played one of the major characters in House of Cards for a while.
Damn, imagine going from Shaman King to House of Cards.
Yeah, so like he's too expensive now, obviously. But in any case, so like I'm very sad about this though because I love Shaman King. We're gonna, you know what? We say that, but we're still gonna watch it when
we're still gonna watch it whenever they fucking release it. So like, whatever. Used to this shit now.
It's still this year, so you know, whatever.
Give me an English opening.
Yeah, same thing's happening with Beastars, so it's
not
the first and not the last time we're gonna do this year.
We have to wait for Beastars.
Yeah, we have to wait for Beastars. Speaking of stuff that's coming, that sounded bad.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Do you want to reword
that? Speaking of other news, so y'all are fans of Hellsing, right?
I do enjoy me some Hellsing.
I think that Hellsing is what we would call a 7 out of 11 yams.
I think Hellsing is what the kids would say is good.
Oh, yeah. I have heard some kids say that. I have.
Well, entertainment website Deadline reported on Thursday that Amazon Studios is developing a live-action adaptation of Kiro Horano's Hellsing manga with Derek Kolstad, who is the writer behind the John Wick franchise, as well as one of the writers on Marvel's upcoming The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as board as the screenwriter. Project producers include Kolstad himself, along with a bunch of other people, and that's all we know, is that this is happening now.
Oh, I hope it's good.
They got a good guy to work on it. They got a fucking fantastic work on it.
It wouldn't surprise me if they get a lot of the John Wick people in.
Yeah,
because it just makes sense.
Bringing Derek Kolstad, he brings his entire team with him. Like when he was brought on to Falcon and Winter Soldier, he brought on his entire. Pretty much that show that has the John Wick people working on it. So like it's something. So like Hellsing's probably going to be the same way as that. But he just brings on his team. That being said, I do actually like that this is happening because I think Hellsing is one of the anime that could work best in live action.
I agree. I think it's really tailored to that medium. I think if done well, it could be really good.
I absolutely think that because Hellsing doesn't take itself too seriously.
No.
I mean, did you watch Ultimate?
I did, yes, and it whipped. It whipped,
but even though it made 0 sense.
So here's how you do a live.
Here's
how you do a live action Hellsing. You cast a cool dude as Alucard, and you have him kill as many zombies as you can.
You cast a cool dude as Alucard. You cast Cast.
Yeah. You cast a hot chick as Ceres.
Thank you.
You get a crazy person as Alexander, whatever I forget his name.
Father.
What?
Father Alexander.
Alexander. And like
Alexander Anderson is his name.
You get a German person as the major.
Yeah, you just get a Nazi.
Yeah, just get a Nazi. There's tons of those in the US.
You just don't. He doesn't even need to act. Just film.
He just needs to be a Nazi.
Just like candid camera him around town.
Yeah, it's what people call method acting.
Yeah.
You get so into your character that you commit genocide.
You commit genocide. That's my favorite kind of method acting.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, you need to be Hitler, and all of a sudden, where'd all those people go?
Oops.
Now there's like 60 million people. They're just gone.
It's like okay, play Wolfenstein, and then all of a sudden you just have somebody going, okay, then first we take the Germans, and then we take the Jews, and then we take the robot vampires, and we put them inside of London. Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Spencer. He waits with bated breath to do that bit any opportunity he gets.
Don't get to use the like major impression very often. It's It's a good impression.
It is good, but like at the same time, it's just like fun. It's just like you always wait to do it. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this though. And since it's Amazon's been notoriously very good with keeping to their adaptations. So they are trustworthy. I would trust them. So this is definitely
the one time you can trust Amazon.
Amazon. The only time in the world.
Still waiting on the 3D World Amazon.
Do you not have it yet?
No, it just never showed up.
Oh my god!
You need to send a complaint, my dude.
Well, I got a refund, but I'm just saying, it never showed up.
But in any case, Hellsing.
Yes.
Let's move on. So let's talk about Mappa, because I know Spencer really likes Mappa.
I mean, we all like Mappa. Mappa.
An anime studio announced Friday that is producing a new original anime based around water polo. Titled,
I saw this shit.
Titled Remain, with Tiger and Bunny head writer Masafumi Nishida serving as co-creator, chief director, writer, and script writer for every episode, and the audio director.
Jesus Christ, dude.
The anime will premiere this year. The anime story centers on Minato, a boy who stopped playing water polo due to a certain incident in the water.
A shark came out of nowhere with a gun.
In winter, in his third year of middle school, he picked up the sport again with a new team when he starts in high school. But the fledgling team runs into many problems. I wonder what this sounds like.
90% of our squad can't swim.
Literally, our entire team is at risk of drowning every time.
Wait,
we get
why did you pick
one of
up
our team hydrophobic?
Wait, why did you pick up water polo? I thought it was polo in the water, so there'd be horses.
You mean like seahorses?
The cast includes Yuto Omera as Minato, the former competitive water polo player. Kotaro Nishiyama is Itaro Oka, Minato's younger friend from middle school who followed him to the same high school. Shiburu Kimura as Joe Jimoja, the captain of the water polo team in Minato's school, and Lin as Chiwu Kabubuko, someone who is knowledgeable about Minato's past.
She's got the dirt.
She's got the dirt. As he has got the dirt. Kiyoshi Musada will be directing the anime. He was the director of Kakagori Season 2 under Nishida's supervision. The person behind the music is going to be a person by the name of Kana Utanane, who has done music for nothing else. This is her first anime work.
Interesting.
And Shiho Tanaka, one of the major animation directors on Banana Fish, is working on the show as well. So if you like the animation of Banana,
say Banana Fish?
If you like the animation of Banana Fish like me and Shane did, then watch this. The anime will premiere this year, but it has no current date. It has no date on when it's coming out. Probably later.
Fall.
I'm guessing fall. Yeah. But I'm excited for this. I will watch anything Mappa does. So,
I saw this article a few days ago, and I didn't say anything about it. But all I saw was sports show by Mappa, Tiger and Bunny writer. That's all I needed.
Did you see the key visual yet?
Yes.
Ooh.
It's just a half naked man.
It's just
in the water.
This show is just going to further perpetuate the narrative of Mappa doesn't fucking miss.
Mappa has yet to miss. Speaking of miss, so now let's move on to unexpected news, because we're now going to get into some of the news that 3 pieces of news that dropped this past 2 weeks of just completely who out of the left blue, why surprise announcements. So let's talk about the biggest surprise announcement. Devil is a Part-Timer is coming back.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Probably the biggest news of the week, actually, about the past 2 weeks, actually. So let's move on. The first day of the Katakawa Light Novel Expo event announced on Saturday that Satoshi's Watagata's The Devil is a Part-Timer light novel series will have a second anime season. The entire main cast is returning. However, they did not say on whether or not the main staff or studio from season 1 will be returning. They didn't say anything about that. There's a very good indicator from the key visual that it's likely going to have a new staff.
Yeah, because I noticed the art style looks different.
Yeah, they changed people. But yeah, Devil's a Part-Time was a show I really love. and and it's been a running joke between the main G.A.P crew that the show will never ever receive a new season.
Turns out dreams do come true.
Turns out we can't use that joke anymore because it got one. So we need to find a new running joke. We need a new anime to pick. What anime will never get a second season?
No Game, No Life.
You know what?
Yeah, that's a good choice.
No Game, No
I
Life.
feel pretty confident in that one.
Yeah. And no season 2.
Literally after we post this podcast, No Game, No Life season 2 announced.
I would be like, okay, where's your prophetic knowledge, my friend?
I will actually commit a backflip.
That's what you know is right after that, because he's like, okay, it's been 2 for 2. But in any case, let's go. But yeah, I'm excited for this. This is going to be...
Yeah. Season 1 was great.
Speaking of unexpected announcements, Gigi no Kitaro. More is that happening. So Toei revealed during the live screen of the manga Okoku Totori Saitan 99 Nen Mizuki Seguru Setaisai, or the Manga Kingdom Totori Birth 99 Years Mizuku Seguru Birth Festival event.
What?
On Sunday. I don't know what that is.
Wait, that wasn't the name of the anime? That was a fucking festival?
Yeah, that's a festival.
Fuck off, Japan.
Event on Sunday, the latest Gigi no Kitaro anime will get an anime film project. The film anime is titled Kitaro Tanjo Gigi no Kitaro, or Kitaro Birth: The Mystery of Gigi. The above teaser visual tagline reads, "Why was I born?" The film is the first for big projects commemorating the 100-year anniversary of Shigeru Mizuki's birth. Mizuki passed away in 2015 at 93 years old. The latest Gigi no Kitaro anime, the 6th television anime incarnation, premiered in April of 2018. We all really liked the new Kitaro that came out in 2018. I think it wrapped up last year.
Yep.
It was very good. Good.
This one's mainly for me because out of the three of us, I'm the one who watched it all the way through.
Yeah.
I watched all 97 episodes of it.
Did you like all of it?
It was fantastic, and it ended super strong. So I'm interested to see what they could do with a movie.
Yeah. Considering that it's about the mystery of
Gigi.
I'm going to assume it's about his origins. It's an origin story.
The one thing I always wanted to know: what does Gigi mean?
Gigi. It means fuck you.
Yeah.
It means no, Kitaro. Thank you.
Moving on.
Thank you.
Moving on, and now this is news for me. Ancient Magus' Bride is coming back. I'm so happy. Let's talk about it. The official Twitter account for Kore Yamazaki's The Ancient Magus' Bride manga announced on Wednesday that the manga is inspiring a new anime project starting with an original anime disc or OAD series titled The Ancient Magus' Bride: The Boy from the West and the Knight from the Mountain Haze. The staff describes the OAD series as the first part of the new anime project, which, if you watch the PV, has stuff from the recent arc in it, which means that season 2 is happening, and I'm very, very excited.
Chise goes to wizard school.
The college. Chise goes to wizard school. The college.
AKA Harry Potter.
And also there's depressed and sad.
Well, yes, of course.
But as per usual, because it's Ancient Magus.
Yeah, it's Ancient Magus. You expect that.
The 3-episode OAD will be bundled with the limited editions of the manga 6th, 7th, and 18th volumes. Yamazaki herself is going to be the writer on the OAD, which is set sometime before Chise involves in the college, so in between seasons 1 and 2. The story begins with Spriggan visiting Chise Elias's home, bringing news of a strange new wild hunt. Another part of the story will focus on Gabriel, a boy who is tired of partying with his friends and living in an unfamiliar land and circumstances. He will hide the veil that hides him from the world of magic. Kazuyoka Terasawa will be the new director on the show at Studio Kafka, a new animation studio established specifically for Ancient Magus. Aya Tahaka returns from the television anime to pen the script alongside Yoko Yonomiya, who worked on Uma Musume Pretty Derby.
God, I want to watch that.
It's been on my list for a while. Hirotaka Kato returns as character designer for the previous anime, and Junichi Mashimoto also returns as composer, which is good because the music in Ancient Magus slaps. And also the other staff members from the show is returning as well. It honestly seems like that they're dumping Wit, which is yet another show that Wit has lost due to their bad management practices. Which I think is very telling about Wit as a studio.
Yeah. So which studio is going to do Vinland Season 2 at this point?
Hopefully Mappa. What if Studio Mappa picks it up?
I mean, based on the way they did AOT, I mean, I wouldn't complain.
Maybe Mappa. I don't know. I don't know. But it's actually kind of a big shame that Wit is just so poorly managed. Because they're losing all their stuff. It is awesome to me, though, that they have a studio called Studio Kafka that's just like, yeah, we're just going to do Ancient Magus. Like, that's
very telling. Because
I think that's telling on how popular the series is in Japan.
Yeah, because if they established an entire studio just for Ancient Magus projects, they have clearly a lot in the works.
Yeah, because probably not just season 2. They have this, maybe like a movie or something in the works too. Imagine an original Ancient Magus film, with a massive budget. Like, imagine how good that will look on the big screen.
Get the needle ready, Matt.
What's the needle for?
Into my
inject it right into his veins.
It's the vaccine for him able to go to. So yeah, let's move on. We have two more pieces. We have one more. Actually, yeah, we have one more piece of news, and it's one that just dropped today, and it's about Madoka Magica.
What?
Madoka Magica, Shane.
Well, I know, but like, what? Huh?
The staff of the 20th anniversary project for the Pirelli Madoka Magica franchise announced on Friday that there will be a 10th anniversary event on April 25th at Chofu City Green Hall in Tokyo. Voice actresses Aoi Yuki, the voice of Madoka Kaname, Chiwa Saito, Homura Akemi, and Emily Kato, who voices Kyubey, will appear at the event. The staff has unveiled Chief Animation Directors Junichi Taniguchi's 10th anniversary celebration. The event also live stream, and apparently they have stuff to announce. I think we're getting it, boys.
So is it happening?
I think it's finally happening. Dude.
If this happens, we have another impossible anime moment that we can check off our lists. Like, fuck.
The sequel to Rebellion sequel.
Rebellion sequel.
Shane, how much do you want a Rebellion sequel? Just make it. I think that says everything.
I just want more so than that, because that would be great. I just want Rebellion to be legally available again so I can watch it again.
Because it's so good.
Someone.
It's so fucking good.
Funimation, come through.
Whole movie from start to finish is just pure masterpiece.
I watched that theatrically, dude, and you have no idea on how much of a fucking trip and amazing experience that was. First anime film I saw theatrically too was that. That was fun. I had no idea what was happening.
Don't worry, I watched it in the comfort of my own home, and I had no idea what was happening.
I watched it on Netflix one night after I randomly decided to binge the show, and I didn't know what was going on either.
Well, that was your first mistake, binging the entire show.
And it all clicks, and you're like, oh!
Yeah.
Oh, yes. You're right. Kyubey did nothing wrong.
No.
Can I mute him? I'm going to mute him. Hold up.
Okay.
I muted him.
The entire plot of the film, Spencer, is about Kyubey literally fucking over Homura. It is actually, the entire movie is actually his fault.
And he can't defend himself because I muted him.
But, like, the other people can't hear you, Spencer.
Yeah.
Jesus, because he spoke the truth. That's all I'm saying.
He's comparing himself to Jesus.
Oh, great. Jesus metaphors. Anyway, you're unmuted again.
Okay.
But yeah, Madoka Magica's coming. The anniversary event is on the 25th, so we'll be on. So we still got more than a month to it, so we still got time. So don't hold your horses. Don't get too excited just yet.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up, because that's the one thing you shouldn't do.
Yeah. So just know that there's something Madoka Magica related coming on April 25th, and we'll be ready to cover it just when it inevitably hits. All right, and now we're done with the news. Now we can move on to our featured anime of the podcast, which is, as we put it, as we talked about at the beginning, the drama music romance series Kids on the Slope, directed by Shinichiro Watanabe and written by Ayako Kato and Yuki Kihara. It is a co-production between Studio Mappa and Tezuka Productions, and it aired originally for 12 episodes from April 12th, 2012 to June 28th, 2012. And it's currently licensed by Sentai Filmworks, and you can go watch it on HIDIVE.
Yes.
In both sub and dub. So you can go check it out there. Kids on the Slope takes place in the year of 1966. Where it follows Karu Nishimi, who is a introverted first year high school student who, due to his father constantly moving around and relocating, he has never really had like one place. He's never stayed in one place for too long. He's never really had long-lasting friendship. Which has also caused him to be kind of like an introvert and not really like being around people. When he moves to this new high school, he meets a delinquent by the name of Sentaro Kawabuchi. Sentaro loves one thing and one thing only: jazz.
You like jazz?
He's a jazz drummer. He's really good at it. And he's really good at it. And Kaoru just happens to be a pianist himself. He is a classical pianist.
Get it out of the way, Shane.
Get it out of the way, Shane.
It's the way you specifically said it that made it really sound like penis.
Look, Shane,
he's a pianist.
Yeah, he's a pianist.
Okay, I'm good. Continue.
He plays the piano, Shane.
He's a piano player, and he ends up forming a friendship with Sentaro in spite of that, as he learns more and more about jazz, and along with their fellow friend Ritsuko, the three of them form a bond that is tested over the course of the summer and the year.
Many years.
Pretty much. Kids on the Slope is a classic coming of age story that deals with a bunch of stuff. I want to talk to Shane about this because yes. I want to talk to Shane. I want to talk to Shane first because Shane Shane has not seen Kids on the Slope prior to this.
No.
He knew about Watanabe. Shane, what did you think of Kids on the Slope?
This show proved to me that Watanabe never misses. Mainly because out of his entire discography, this is maybe filmography. This is maybe one show of his that I knew the least about going in, because I'd never seen it, hadn't heard much about it before. Definitely wasn't expecting a romance. Let me put it that way.
It's a romance. It's a very heavy romance.
I was expecting just a straight music show, kind of like what he did with Carol and Tuesday, but I got the exact opposite. And honestly, I'm not complaining because this show is fantastic. I think the one thing I like about the show the most is that it's messy. Not in terms of like production or writing or anything like that, but it's messy emotionally. And it makes sense because, it is a classic coming-of-age story. These kids are dumb. They don't know how to express their feelings. They're all over the place. And I think this show is one of the finest examples of coming-of-age that I've seen, because you really feel like the whirlwind of emotion that these characters are going through and the relationships that they're trying to hold together despite all of it. And it was just really interesting, and I was engaged the entire way through, and I really fell in love with this cast. I love all the characters. I love all the relationships. Show made me cry.
Show made me cry too.
Show made me cry.
Spencer's meta.
Yes, it was.
And he'd already seen Kids in the Slope prior to this. So just you go rave about Kids in the Slope because I know you want to rave.
So anybody who knows me, and Matt and Shane can attest to this, knows that I love coming of age stories. I love coming of age stories. In fact, Little Women is one of my favorite books ever written.
Hell yeah.
Fucking love that. And if you haven't seen the 2020 movie, do yourself a favor and go watch it because it's incredible.
Girl Rake fucking kills it. She's so good.
Oh, it's so good. But I had seen this show before I had fallen in love with Mappa. I saw Watanabe and I knew Cowboy Bebop, and I was like, cool. So it's going to be like Cowboy Bebop.
It is nothing like Cowboy Bebop.
It is nothing like Cowboy Bebop. This is Watanabe's one and only adaptation of a manga. And the production of this, which I'll go into later, has some interesting things that I think Matt and Shane will see and understand once I get to it. But this is a show about being a teenager and what that means.
And it's
a show of
messy.
Whether you are a teenager and you're watching this, whether you were a teenager ages ago or whether you just got past being a teenager, we all still remember those awkward feelings of just, one, you don't know what love is. You just know that you feel weird around people and you kind of have to deal with that. Two, you're a teenager. You don't talk to anybody. You don't talk about your problems. You just kind of just assume that the person that you're thinking about doesn't want to deal with you. So you just leave or you just ignore them. That's not the way to go past things. And eventually you get to a point where you're either followed your dreams and you're living your best life, or you're stuck in a place that you hate. And sure, it might be comfortable, but it's not making you happy. And that's where this show really shines, is showing that aspect of not just following your dreams or how men need kind of male friendships as well as kind of love. This show is amazing. And that's just talking about the story. The jazz is incredible. And I was so happy to meta this because when I heard that Shane knew basically nothing about Kids on the Slope, I was like, oh, this is a Shane show. This is perfect.
Yeah.
This is like Whiplash jazz meets like a coming of age story.
It's Whiplash the anime with much more sadness.
He's going to eat this up. But yeah, it's great.
Uh-huh. All right. So let's talk about it. Now, Kids on the Slope has 12 episodes, and they're all very good. So let's pick. But we have to pick a favorite.
Oh God,
Shane, what episode is your favorite?
It was between the last two, episode 11 or 12, because I think genuinely those are the two best episodes in the entire show.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta go with my gut. And I gotta go with the one that gave me the most visceral emotional reaction. That's episode 11.
That's my favorite too, actually. Left Alone, named after the song by Mal Waldron.
God, I hate feelings.
Shane, after this episode, I wanted to die. I wanted to just leave. This episode's sad. It's just sadness for like 22 minutes, but it's very good. And
it's thought-provoking sadness.
It is. And it's like it really like it taps into a lot about Sentaro as a character who I really I'll get into Sentaro.
I love Sen so much.
I'll get into Sentaro as a character soon.
Such a great character.
But like it really dives into his character and just how complicated of a person he actually is and stuff. And it's just like the end of that episode is just devastating.
Breaks
my
heart.
when Kaoru just puts him in his chest and it's just like it's
okay to
Sen's
cry.
like he's like Sen's like, what do you mean? And he's just like, this is just so we don't have to see each other cry. Let it all out. And Sen just starts crying. I'm like, oh my god, he's bottled.
Who was crying too.
All of us. But I'm like, oh my god, he bottled everything up since he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally had a person to just allow him to cry. And it just all came out. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm starting to tear up now, man. It's a sad, really sad episode. It's not my favorite, but it's really, really sad.
Like, the thing I love the most about this episode is that it kind of teeters on the edge for a bit. Because with Sentaro, the entire thing that's been building up to this point is whether or not he'll stay at home. Because his dad's coming back, and the whole thing with his dad was that because of what happened, he felt like he didn't have a place there. And then once his dad comes back, you start to see, like, the wall kind of come down slowly, but surely it is. Like, his dad is clearly trying to reach out to him, as begrudgingly as he might be. But they're trying to, like, mend. And then the accident happens, and then Sentaro just completely blames himself, and God, I hate this show. I hate feeling things.
Shane hates feelings. Shane hates feelings.
Because when Sentaro walks out, I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
God fucking damn it.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's very sad. Spencer, what's your favorite episode?
My favorite episode is episode.
Let me guess.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the finale?
Yes.
There you go.
Episode 12, All Blues, named after a Miles Davis song. This is the culmination of everything. This is the culmination of especially the last episode, which ends with Sentaro just gone, and nobody knows where he's been.
Mm-hmm. And they literally go through their last, like, is it their last year or semester or...
Semester, I think.
Yeah, they literally go through their last semester without him, because he's just MIA. No one knows where he is.
Nobody knows. In fact, they don't even call his name at graduation. He never graduated. Mm-hmm. And it starts with that moment, and then it gets to Kaoru and Ritsuko, and just Kaoru taking things way too far. He's so overwhelmed with just these emotions that he just tries to make something happen when it's very clear that's not what wants to happen. Ritsuko is not in that type of mood. Not even for what he tries to do, just in general. She's still grieving.
Yeah.
And Kaoru, you're also grieving in his own way, and that's why I don't disagree with the way that he tried to do things. He finally could get the girl. Finally. But...
wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time. And he has to deal with that. And his final message in front of the music store, just screaming at her window that he's like, I'm going away to Tokyo. And I don't know if I'll ever see you again, but I just wanted you to know that I love you. And I've always loved you, and I always will. And he just and I'm like, my heart. And then an 8-year time skip.
I wasn't expecting that, by the way.
8 years later, and everything it's like, oh, okay. And we find Yurika, who's pregnant.
Yep, she's pregnant with
Brother June's baby.
Brother June's baby, and then
Brother June getting it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, but hey,
he buttering that toast.
They took their time though, because 8 years later, she was only 6 months pregnant. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
Here's the thing: there's no implication of whether or not that's their first kid.
If you look at the wedding picture,
it's their first kid. Yeah,
it's their first kid.
Well, fuck me, I guess.
Yes, but Kaoru is a doctor, and the scene that makes me the most happy, aside from the ending, is when you realize, oh, Sentaro joined the church. He's now a priest. and Sentaro is with the kids, and Kaoru walks into the church and sees the organ, and
he's a man of God.
And he starts playing Monin on the organ, and Sentaro is just like, "It's about damn time."
Hey, orphans, you like jazz?
I thought he would never show up, and he gets there, and as Kaoru's just playing Monin, you see him look over, and you see Sentaro pick up those drumsticks, and then they have one final jam, and then they run down the slope together, and that's just
I
completely missed the fact that it was a slope.
Kids on the slope, and then they meet Risako again. Risiko's like, ah! And it's happy.
The show opens on Kaoru talking about how he hates the slope. Because it's the perfect encapsulation of his feelings of just constantly trying to move upwards with everything trying to push you back down. And running down that slope and feeling happy was him finally accepting doing what he wants to do. And all it took was Sen. And it's just such a happy ending. And it's not the ending of the manga, we'll get to that, but that ending is perfect for where they ended off, and I love it.
It is such a strong ending. The one thing I love about this episode in particular is the way that it logically wraps up everyone's arcs from things that were previously established. So, like, with Kaoru, his family always urged him, hey, you need to become a doctor. What does he do? He becomes a doctor. Kaoru says to Sentaro, hey, you're good with kids. You should look into maybe like raising kids or orphans. What does he do? He becomes a priest and he raises the orphans. Like, it all like logically comes together in a way that makes perfect sense. And I really appreciate
Ritsuko becomes a teacher.
Seiji became the star he always wanted to be.
And I'm like, man,
Seiji.
Fuck Seiji, but also, good for him.
Yeah, I guess.
He followed his dreams and he won.
I'm happy he got where he was, but I have many issues with that character.
I have many issues with that character. But yeah, good shit. It's what we call good shit.
Good shit.
Speaking of characters.
Speaking of characters, let's talk about our favorite characters. Shane, who's your favorite character?
Who doesn't have Sentaro?
Okay, it's Sen.
It's Sen boy.
I love Sen. He's great. What is there more to say about him?
I mean, he's just a big, lovable oof.
He's as big. He's lovable. When he's talking to Eureka for the first time, he's a big fucking dum-dum.
Which, hashtag relatable.
Very relatable.
Yeah, very relatable. Fucking, he's a man of God, so you know that he doesn't sin.
Yeah. He is void of all sin.
He's void of sin.
Except for when he accidentally drank alcohol.
That one time.
Yeah, that one time.
Yeah.
That one single time. But I really love it. I really love him. He's fantastic.
Yeah,
and he's
great.
The most likable character. And like whenever he plays, I love his introduction when he's like slowly walking up the steps with the sticks and he's playing the drums on the railing sticks. With the sticks, and when I saw that, I'm like, oh, I like you. I like you
immediately. All I've seen is your hands.
He's a jazz drummer, man.
He's a jazz drummer. You know who else is a jazz drummer? The lead in Whiplash, and that movie is incredible.
Yeah.
So,
you know what else Sen is?
What?
Homoerotic.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
He is a man who is in touch with his inner feelings.
He is a great man. And
he is a great man, and he's my favorite character.
Senboy, every single line from him was either being a good friend to people or like getting people to like talk about issues. And I'm like, yeah, you're that one character in all coming of age, which is just like, hey, stupid. Fucking talk to each other.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love one of the things I love most about Sen is how emotionally intelligent he is. Like, he is perfectly in tune with his own feelings, and he's good at reading people, so he's in tune with the feelings of others. So he's kind of that medium where, he's the one who urges people to really express how they truly feel. Whether or not he can do that perfectly himself is up for debate, but I just like that it doesn't stray away from the fact that he understands human emotion, whereas a lot of the other people in this show, idiots, all of them.
Yeah, all idiots. Speaking of idiots, is there a least favorite character in this show?
It's
Seiji.
It's Seiji. I can't fucking stand
Seiji?
this guy. It's not even
Is it Seiji for you, Matt?
Yeah, probably.
It's not even the fact that I hate his character, because he serves his purpose. It's the fact that he is a walking stereotype. I don't understand who thought this was a good idea, but I hate it. I
you fucking
can't fucking stand it.
Fucking like who thought this was a good idea? The mangaka probably.
It's one of those things where, like, sure, he's a stereotype. Okay, that's one thing, but it leans so hard into that stereotype where it becomes problematic. And I disagree with that on a moral level.
Watanabe has always kind of had an issue with that in some of his earlier stuff. It's less so nowadays, but it's something that's kind of been there.
Seiji is just like the one black mark on the show that I'm like, man, if you weren't here, nothing would be lost.
Yikes. Spencer.
It's either Seiji or it's Kaoru's fucking aunt.
Yeah, aunt's a bitch.
Kaoru's aunt's just a bitch.
She's just a bitch, but she's like one of those spoiled bitches where you're just like, shut up. I get it that you come from just I get it that your family's rich and you have to have an heir to the family, and Kaoru's that heir. But like, just stop talking. just stop it.
Just shut up.
Just like, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
Stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. And this is just an update of Seiji thing. You want to make Shane? You want to make the Seiji thing more annoying?
Oh God, here we go.
Is that the author confirmed that he's not even gay? He's supposed to be straight, which makes it even a little bit more like
he's just supposed
fucking
to be.
Excuse me.
He's supposed to be a he's supposed to be a satire of the like 1960s boy band, like effeminacy.
Yeah, and I get it.
I get it. But also, I don't remember him being that flamboyant in the sub.
I feel
he's not the
yeah. I think that was
then
a
it's
Sentai.
It's Sentai's fault.
Oh, we'll get into Sentai's dub in a second, and I have mixed thoughts on the Sentai's dub for the show.
I feel a molten core of anger.
Shane,
remember, Sentai wasn't good at this point.
Yeah, we'll get into Sentai's dub. Actually, I have a lot to say about it.
Okay, so I wasn't crazy because this is my first time watching the dub as well. I originally watched it in Japanese, and the sub was very. But no, Seiji he serves a point in like kickstarting kind of the ending portion of the final episode. But aside from that, and fixing the issue in episode 7 between Kaoru and Sen. Kaoru's aunt just tells him to stop playing the piano and drink some tea.
Yeah, stop.
And I'm like,
don't live out your dreams. Do exactly what I tell you.
You're going to be a doctor, and you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Seiji. To be Seiji sounds better in the sub because I just looked at who voiced them. It's the voice of Bakugo in the sub who voices Seiji, and he also voices Karma in Ass Class. So like obvious, yeah. So like not nearly whatever the hell.
Sentai, I want a word with you.
All right, let's talk about other things outside of characters now. Because we're on the topic.
Matt, did you determine your least favorite?
Seiji.
Okay.
Let's talk about Shade, what did you think of Sentai's dub? Because I have mixed thoughts about it.
We're getting this out of the way first.
Let's get this out of the way real quick.
I get this out of the way. I like this dub a lot, actually. I like this dub a lot for the most part. It's very well acted, and per usual standards of Watanabe's work is always very easy to dub, and they're always very strong in terms of dubbing. And Kiss on the Slope is no exception. All the performances are great. However, I will say this: Sentai really needs to get a hand on how to properly do lip flaps and ADR.
I hate it. I'm gonna jump in here because I really like the dub too. I think most of the casting choices are great. I think most of the performances are spot on. But holy God, that ADR.
It's bad.
It's so bad.
It's really bad, and it's an example of like Sentai back in the day. What they would do was they didn't adapt their scripts. They literally they did what we call direct translations. Basically, whatever the Japanese line was, that was the line in English, and you had to fit it into the lip flaps no matter what, which you sometimes can't do. So that's why the lip flaps barely matched at points. Because it was literally just a translation.
Like, I've seen shows with bad ADR before, but I think this is one of the
Nakaimo
worst.
is a great example, another fantastic example of one that had awful ADR. Remember, there's a scene in Nakaimo where a person's lip flap is just moving and nothing's coming out.
That's what's happening here. And this is one of the worst instances I've seen, because it's bad to the point where it's actively distracting. Like, I can't focus on the dialogue in some scenes because
did you switch to the
sub? So bad.
Did you switch to the sub at any point?
No, I did not.
I didn't, but I checked out the sub. And the sub is excellent. Like,
it's incredible.
Good.
I would figure that.
But it's definitely something I feel like that, like, it's like I'm so glad Sentai is much better at dubbing.
Yeah, they really picked up their game, especially recently.
Yeah, like
I want to check out that Scumswish dub actually.
Yeah, Scumswish dub is
what that's like.
I haven't watched it yet, so I really want to try to see if I could check it out. They also do Snafu's dub, and Snafu's dub is very good.
Yeah, Snafu is considered like consistently great.
But yeah, let's talk about the animation of the show too.
I didn't get to talk about the dub.
Oh, you expect you could talk about? I'm sorry. Talk about the dub.
You guys were all talking about ADR and like things, and I'm just like, okay, they can do ADR stuff. Just really quickly, I think that the core cast is incredibly well done. I think Chris Patton does a really, really good job as Kaoru.
Sorry to interrupt again, but at first I didn't realize it was Chris Patton, and I'm like, why does his voice sound so familiar? And then I'm like, wait a sec, it's fucking Oikawa.
Yeah, it's Chris Patton.
It's Chris Patton. And Andrew Love does Sen, I believe.
I put that in our Discord.
Andrew Love is Sen, and Rebecca Stevens is Ritsuko.
And those three do a really, really good job. But also, Brother June is a good voice.
David Mataranga. David Matranga, yeah.
That's it, David Matranga. And Yurika is a good voice as well.
Yurika's got Maggie Fleckno.
She does a great job too.
Yes,
she does a great job.
The main cast does a really good job. It's very funny that everybody's Brittany Karbowski.
Every single female side character.
It's all Brittany Karbowski because fucking Sentai had like 15 actors at this. They barely had any. This was back when they first really started up. Because Sentai is actually pretty, like, in terms of anime companies, they're pretty recent. They only showed up in 2008. So
yeah, so it's pretty rare for a
it's just
company.
Very funny to me that when all the side girls in the class are talking at once, they all just sound the same.
And I'm like, wait a second. I know and have a really love-hate relationship with that voice. That must be Brittany Karbowski. And sure enough, it is.
Remember Apika?
I try to forget.
I love Paprika.
How do you not forget? How do you forget Paprika? I love Paprika.
As a character, I love her. As a voice, it was the most annoying thing I've ever heard.
That's not what you said on the podcast, Spencer.
Because the voice ruined it. In both sub and dub, I hate her voice. And it's a rare moment where it's just like, I just don't like the way this character sounds, and it kind of ruined it for me. Damn you, Paprika. But no, the dub's good. ADR isn't, though, so, you know.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Right. Now we can move on to animation.
Okay, so, like, when he's bashing on them drums.
So, are you ready? Because this is what I was going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So, there is a... the creator of Mappa, Maruyama, who was the production...
why does he have a history of Mappa?
Because he created the company and he split off from Madhouse to create Mappa in 2000 and something.
I mean, Mappa is basically the new Madhouse, so it makes sense.
Yeah. So this was supposed to be, first off, this is supposed to be Watanabe's kind of return to anime. But what's interesting on a production is that Maruyama estimated that about half of the production time and budget was spent towards creating its musical scenes. Here was his expertise. He did the animation for Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad, and Forest of Piano.
That makes perfect sense.
Specifically, the original anime film for Forest of Piano, not the Gainax one.
The original film, and he did the animation for Beck. And he also and Watanabe was pressured to use computer-generated imagery. However, he did all of that hand-drawn.
I swear, there was one instance where Karu's playing the piano and it's just his arms, and I'm like, I swear that looks like CG.
Nope, it is all hand-drawn, and it was done by utilizing motion capture, which they did by watching live-action video of musicians, and then they did that, filmed it through multiple angles, edited it into a single scene, and then the animators used that as a photo reference.
So they rotoscoped it pretty much.
Pretty much. And the interesting thing is Yoko Kanno, who we all love Yoko Kanno.
Yoko Kanno, man.
She doesn't like jazz music.
She doesn't like jazz music. So in order to do this, she researched recording techniques of the 1950s and 60s in order to make sure that basement sound that Kaoru and Kitaro have sounded accurate.
Yeah, they got the just the right amount of like echo and reverb.
She even worked with DJs to get that sound, that DJ sound of the 1960s. But what's most interesting to me is the opening. The opening's really good. It's a really, really good song. Both the opening and the ED. Due to production delays, the opening sequence was animated before the music was created.
Excuse me?
Delays also forced the opening sequence to be produced by a staff that was entirely separate from the main series animation staff.
That's why it looked fucking weird. I was wondering, hold up.
A move Maruyama noted as not something you see with anime very often.
That's why the OP had like character designs that looked a little odd.
I was like, wow, they almost look like a Kakushi Goto, Zetsuba Sensei kind of art style.
Yeah, they probably because it's a different fucking staff. I thought it was a creative choice personally.
I mean, it can also be that because it's very accurate to the manga look.
Uh-huh. But at the same time, that actually makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. They just, because of delays, they had to make the music and animate it with a different staff first.
That's wild.
Yeah, but so production was very interesting. And you can tell in the animation department because Watanabe, and especially Mappa, although it's not their first, general, like, solo act, they killed it with Tezuka Productions.
I mean, hell, those fucking, the performance scenes alone.
Yeah.
Like,
there's even a fight scene in the first episode
it looks really good.
In my first indicator, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like they, literally, I don't think every episode in this show, like all 12 of them, look fantastic. There's not a single dip in quality throughout the entirety of the show. And speaking of Yoko Kanno, I want to talk about the music of this show as well, because
hang on, can I do a chef's kiss?
Yes. Because I fucking love jazz. Like, God, it's so good. It's so good. The music is incredible, and the fucking is Yoko Kanno like possibly the best anime composer of all time? Because
a literal god.
Yeah, a literal god. Like everything she touches is just stellar, and
even in a genre that she admits she openly hates.
And well, it's like I really love what they did with Kiss in the Soul, because it's all jazz. Like even when there's no jazz, no performances playing, the music in the back, like the actual music to the show is really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all stellar stuff. The opening is really good too. The ED is really good. It's just the music all around is just really fantastic, which is good because it's a show about music. If the music wasn't good, there would be a problem.
There were riots in the streets.
Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Pigs flying. God, what does the
Hell
world come to?
freezes over. Come on.
No, that's just when the Maple Leafs win the cup, dude.
That's a very specific joke that nobody will get that doesn't watch sports.
Yeah, exactly.
Or is Canadian.
It was more for Spence.
I appreciate it. I'm letting you know.
So I'm just sitting here sports, am I right?
I'm letting you know, Matt. I heard it. I processed it. I appreciate it.
Now he needs to laugh.
There it is. Laugh. All right, but okay, Spencer, anything in particular you want to talk about with Kids on the Slope?
I mean, we've talked about the animation. We've talked about the direction, the music. Yeah. We've talked about have we talked about the writing yet?
Not really yet. Oh, we've mentioned it. The writing's really good.
Writing's very good.
I mean, it just it understands the complicated feelings of what it's like to be a teenager.
Yeah, and the actual quote from Watanabe about the length was that typically this would be adapted to as 15 or 16 episodes. Quote, so trying to fit it into 12 episodes necessitated a bit of rushing. And so spoiler alert if you are going to read the manga, because I'm going to talk about the end of the manga and kind of the stuff that was cut out. So broad spoiler alert for the manga in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mayonnaise.
Okay. So the anime ends at the end/middle of volume 9. It cuts out a couple chapters that really could be cut out. And the final volume, otherwise, which was called the Extra Sessions, was a episodic kind of prologue for everybody. And what we missed out was really sad. So we missed out on two things. One, to go back a bit, in the actual manga, we get to hear Kaoru's mother sing Lullaby in Birdland. Yeah.
Why do they cut that? Why do they cut that?
Yeah, so we do get to hear that. And also Ritsuko sings Lullaby in Birdland.
Why did they cut that?
Because that's in the Extra Sessions. So Ritsuko sings Lullaby in Birdland. They basically get everybody together. Eureka is there, Brother June is there, Senboy is there, Kaoru's there, Ritsuko's there, and Pops is there. And they basically have a big jam session afterwards. And while Ritsuko is singing, it's shown that she's pregnant, and it's revealed that that's Kaoru's kid.
They fought.
So they after
Kaoru
all
gets
this,
what he wanted the whole time.
He gets what he wanted the whole time, and they get together. And there's actually a super cool Reddit post about somebody who's like, they couldn't do this, but here's a rundown. But yeah, that's the end of the manga. It ends with them having a jam session, and it's revealed that Kaoru is dating, or at least is married, or at least dating Ritsuko, who has his kid. Imagine
having a child before marriage.
Imagine having a child. There is a live action movie that you can watch.
I've heard the live action film is very good. By the way, I've heard it's quite good. So definitely worth checking
they
out.
had to undergo speech and music training to speak with the Sasebo dialect, because the actual manga is based off of the life and times of the mangaka. What was her name?
Yuki Komada.
Yuki Komada. Kodama, sorry. Yuki Kodama. And what's interesting is that they technically couldn't do a complete adaptation anyways, because the manga ended the month after.
Yeah.
And what I really find amazing about MAPPA is that, so I was technically wrong. This was made less than a year after the company was created. MAPPA came about in 2011, and this was 2012.
Well, this is the first one they've made. They must have been working on it before then. More than likely, because Shane probably agrees with me. This show screams that this was a show done before it aired.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This was not a weekly production.
Yeah, this was not a weekly production. It's absolutely not. And it's one of those cases. Shane, anything you want to talk about in particular as well?
Man, I mean, I think we've covered basically everything.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
all we haven't talked about is the themes of the show.
Oh, fucking
puberty, adolescence,
religion,
God,
homoeroticism.
You know, we can talk about the fact that Karu and Sen are gay for each other.
Like absolutely. I don't know fucking
super.
Sure. Karu ends up with a girl at the end,
and disgusting. Sen has a crush on Yurika. Ew.
We all know, and sure, he's a Roman Catholic in 1970s Japan, Japan, but they're gay.
They're gay.
Like, there's so many times when Sen is just like hanging over Karu. I'm like, just kiss.
Oh, dude,
just do it.
The framing of some of the stuff, especially when he pulls off the sheet.
He pulls the sheet, and then Sen's like, "My angel has come for me." And he grabs his hand.
And Angel, if I didn't know that this wasn't a yaoi show, I would have been like, "Oh, they're gay."
What are they doing up on that rooftop? Well,
just dudes being dudes.
Just guys being dudes.
Just guys being bros, dude.
Yeah, just guys being dudes.
Critics have stated that this is probably Watanabe's first attempt to engage seriously with the LGBT, with the next being Terror in Resonance, and then
I had to fucking ruin it.
And then Carol and Tuesday being his big.
Oh, Carol and Tuesday is so gay.
His
Carol
big
and Tuesday
opening
is absolutely incredible. I loved Carol and Tuesday.
Also, critics have stated this is the watershed moment for Watanabe's career, representing the final evolution of the director's lifelong obsession with music.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And also, people have stated that this is just... Watanabe likes doing unlikely pairs of boys or men and throwing them together.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's just... religion... Catholicism in Japan is a whole can of worms, because that religion was not really well respected for a very, very long time. I mean, partly,
considering that Catholics tried to kill them.
Yeah, and then they tried to kill Catholics.
So
it's like you have a holy war of blood.
Pretty much.
Just watch Silence.
Yeah, just go watch the movie Silence by Martin Scorsese. One, it's by Martin Scorsese, so
it's good.
Second, it's a very good movie, and it showcases.
And 3, feel your soul leave its body.
I was just imagining when I said the Holy War for Blood, I was just imagining Sentaro on the drum set and he's just doing a riff, but then lasers are coming out of the drums. And
I just imagine Sentaro Holy War for Blood, like Sentaro starts with like a jazz drum, but then he slowly turns into like a Megadeth song.
Yes, and then all of a sudden he just morphs it into like a character from Guar and is just like, oh yes, it's time.
Yes,
I've come for you.
When Shane, when you bring up drums that shoot laser beams, all I can think of is Sonic Underground.
God, that show's terrible.
I'd rather forget Sonic Underground. Thank you very much.
Also, I do want to talk about one thing because I may never get to talk about this again, and I can't believe I'm going to bring this up in a anime podcast. In an anime podcast. But if you haven't played the game Ape Out, and you like jazz music...
Oh, jazz. Okay, I see the resemblance.
Play Ape Out. You get to make your own jazz music. The soundtrack's incredible.
Here, I'm gonna sell Ape Out, and I'm gonna tie it back into Kids on the Slope.
Do it, yes.
Ape Out is like if you took Hotline Miami and Kids on the Slope, you replace Jacket with Sentaro, who's going around slaying the non-believers who oppose Christianity with his sick jazz beats.
Yes.
Fund it.
There you go.
There we go.
Go buy it. It's on Game Pass.
No, the fucking...
Final scores, right?
Final scores. 10.
10.
10. I'm just going to say
10.
Right now, 10.
10.
Shane, are you giving this a 10?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I was about to say, like, I don't think there's any other score I can give this. This is one of the best shows of its year.
It's one of the most...
Sorry.
It's one of the most emotionally moving shows I've seen in a long time. Like, I don't think... God, I can't remember the last show that made me cry like this. Honestly.
Poco.
Sure. Let's go with that.
That was a joke, but
it's just
fun ad probably.
Yeah, After Story, yeah, probably. It's just it understands its themes and its characters and what it's trying to say so well, and it's just a marvel of a production. It's incredible.
Yeah. All right, and I think we're done for final scores, which means it's time we move on to our featured anime of the podcast. We don't know how this works. We rotate between a choice between me and Shane or the randomizer. This was a randomizer, albeit a bit expensive, which means it's between me and Shane, and it's my turn to pick. So what am I picking?
Oh, boy, here we go.
For the anime to cover. So this is so I know exactly what we're covering because I've been wanting to cover this show for a very, very, very long time, but it has been in that weird zone of being technically legally available, but not on streaming services. The Blu-rays are available for a relatively reasonable price, and in print, so it's not like they're going anywhere. But they're not on legal available streaming services, so it's just like, why bother covering them if we don't, why bother covering them right now? Well, this particular show is finally available for legal streaming on multiple platforms, and I can finally get y'all fuckers to watch it. So next time on the podcast, we'll be covering the 1979. We're going back to the 70s to cover the anime classic Mobile Suit Gundam.
It's finally fucking happening.
The original Mobile Suit Gundam, specifically.
1979.
1979, the one, the only. It is legally available if y'all so desire to watch. So I'm really excited to see what both of you think of it.
What's the director's name again?
Yeah, Yoshiyuki Tomino.
That's it.
Yoshiyuki Tomino. And with that, I'm your host, Matt, aka Legion Rex. You can find me on YouTube at Legion Rex. You can also find me on Twitter at Legion Rex. And with me, I also have my co-host Shane, aka the Beta One. You can find him on Twitter at Beta Gaming Network, where you can keep up to date on all of his thoughts and also when he's streaming, where he streams on Twitch on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 to 10 And every Monday and Wednesday is his Year of Yakuza.
It's been going smooth. Going real smooth.
So definitely go check that out. You can also find him on YouTube where he posts his live stream, where he posts his live streams from Twitch, as well as other stuff like unboxings, podcasts, let's plays, gameplay stuff, all that kind of fun stuff. With me, I also have my co-host Spencer. You can find him on Twitter at Beery Burton with two E's. And he posts pictures of he posts his cosplay stuff all the time. So.
And occasionally I tweet something that nobody pays attention to.
I like how he hasn't liked a cosplayer photo in the longest time, and yet we're still like, that's still what we're going with.
Yeah, no.
It's like stuck. I'm sorry, I can't change it now.
Mostly it's just like shit posts and like
and his pin tweet is about how a demon orange tree killed his father.
Named Jim John, dude. And I gotta get the sacred axe.
The sacred axe?
Yeah, I think it was a sacred axe.
It was something dumb.
Let me see.
Maybe there was a tiger involved. I don't know.
Where's my pin? Oh, there it is. The actual quote: "My dad was killed by a devil orange tree called Jim John. At this point, I feel the sweet apple falling from the tree of sadness, and fuck is dead."
So there was no axe.
No, I think the axe is later on.
I forgot it's a thread.
It is a thread because you responded, "I don't drink any orange juice because of my hatred for oranges. If it wasn't for those citrus villains, my dad would still be alive." To which I responded, "I agree. To date, I was afraid of citrus fruits by Nikaru Jasuke since I hold the blessed demon blade axe."
There it is.
I believe I will meet once at Nakayama Dakama High School. We can finally destroy a good citrus empire. And with that, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next time for Gundam.
Oh, we'll see you next time for Mobile Suit Gundam.
Oh, kill me. Thank you for listening to The G.A.P. If you like what you've seen, you can subscribe to the G.A.P Podcast YouTube channel to get the latest podcasts as they go live. Be sure to like and comment and let us know what you guys think of the show. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.